Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Good morning, Mr. Banyan. Thank you again for helping us out today, answered Matt, designated himself as the official spokesman for the group. Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. None of this Mr. Banyan stuff today. How about we keep this strictly informal and you guys call me Will? What do you say? The three kids looked at each other and shrugged their shoulders. If this white man was willing to let them call him by his first name, then it was definitely okay with them. So Ned answered before the others could. Sure, Will, if that's the way you want it, no problem, she said smugly. Actually, Coach, I think our mother would have a problem with us calling an adult by their first name, said Matt while casting a stern look at his impetuous sister. But Mom isn't here, is she? And he said it was okay for today, so what's the harm? She replied while looking daggers at her brother. Well, she's not here. We still have to be respectful. Since the U-Haul was not equipped with a back seat, they all had to sit in the front, and that meant everyone was shoulder to shoulder. Will looked over at the three siblings and found Matt and Net glaring at each other while Vet had hung her head down and was shaking it back and forth. So Net was going to be the hard nut to crack, huh? Deciding it was best to uphold the rules of their mother again to gain an ally by allowing rebellion, he decided to handle the situation another way. You know what, Matt? I think you're right. I'm sorry for overstepping my bounds. So why don't you guys just call me Coach? How's that? They were all silent for a minute before Vet filled the silence with the voice of reason and finality. That sounds fine, Coach. Now let's get to the furniture store and get this moving job done before Mom gets here and finds us sitting in the driveway talking about what to call you. That broke the tension that was building in the van, and off they drove to pick up the furniture. The task of picking up the furniture proved to be quite an adventurous one because the salesman tried his best to coax the kids into purchasing more than they could afford and what they didn't need. At first, the coach was trying to stay out of the decision making in an effort to not to influence the kids and allow them to do this all on their own. But the pushy salesman began to irritate him in his obvious attempt to railroad the kids, thinking they were alone. So, in as subtle a way as possible, he stepped in and helped close the deal as quickly as possible. The pressure of the pushy salesman had begun to unnerve the girls, but Matt had begun to become irritated. So they were very happy that the coach was with them and decided to step in when he did. The three kids had $600 between them, each having taken $200 apiece from their private savings to purchase two beds, lamps, night table, and pillows. They went to the nearest furniture store from their house and after 45 minutes had used up to $480. Knowing they still had to reimburse the coach for the U-Haul, they decided they had gotten enough. As they loaded the furniture into the truck and was headed back to their house, Matt brought up the topic of the cost to settle their bill with the coach. But they didn't know what the coach had been listening to them as they discussed their budget, and he knew they were working with limited funds and decided to help them without their knowledge. Coach, thanks for helping us back there, said Matt, speaking for the three of them. Don't mention it, Matt. I think a lot of salespeople try too hard for the commission and forget to be courteous. It really annoys me when that happens, and I was glad I was there to help out. Since we're just about finished with the truck, if you don't mind, I'd like to settle the bill with you now. How much do we owe you for the truck? Okay, sure, no problem. We can take care of this right now. Now, where did I put that receipt? I could have sworn I put it in my pocket, said Will as he searched one pocket after another in an attempt to look like he was really searching for the receipt. When it looked like he had searched thoroughly, He appeared to give up in bewilderment and frustration. Isn't it funny how I can't find the receipt? Anyway, if I remember correctly, about $100 would take care of the truck. Are you sure? Only 100? I thought it would be at least two. $200? I can tell you don't do this much. No, my friend, all you have to give me is $100 and we're even. The kids looked at each other with smiles on their faces and happiness in their hearts because they knew everything they had planned for their mother was going without a hitch, and they were even going to come out $20 ahead. The rest of the ride home was filled with Matt and the coach talking basketball as the girls listened on in silence. Vet kept looking at her watch because Rife was supposed to meet them at the house to help carry the furniture in and set it up before their mother came home this evening, which left them exactly 5 hours. The very thought of Rife made Vet's heart beat faster. They had become so entangled with each other, they each couldn't imagine what life would be like without the other one. Rife was the greatest thing that had happened to Vet, and she thanked the good Lord every day for bringing him into her life. To compound her happiness was the fact that she and Rife both had Christian upbringing, and they each carried it into their relationship. They never indulged in heavy petting, focused on their studies, and talked about their future. Vet had never been serious about a boy before, but she was sure she was in love with Rife and was glad she had never shared these emotions with anyone else. Matt and Rife being on the basketball team caused the girls to be more informed about the game since they attended every game to give support to them. So Vet listened with only half an ear on the ride home because the rest of her thoughts were on Rife, who she was sure was waiting for them at their house right now. And because she had half her attention on Rife, she didn't notice the uneasy silence of her twin as she kept squirming in her seat. Net was in a very troubled place that she was not happy to be in at all. She wondered what had come over her and couldn't wait to get out of this van and away from this white man. She tried not to sit near him, but when they were getting in, Vet and Matt were taking care of the bill and kept telling her to get in so they could leave. She tried not to talk to him in the store, but he kept coming over to her, asking her if everything was okay and did she need for him to talk to the salesman for them. God, she wished he would just stop talking to her. He was so annoying, so white, and so fine. What had come over her, and why was she thinking like this about this man? What in the world was going on? About a week ago, Net was standing near the teacher's lounge when she happened to hear two of her teachers talking about the coach. Her gut and sense of decency told her to walk away and stop eavesdropping on their conversation. But before she knew it, she was caught up in what they were saying. I swear, Will is so fine, he makes my toes curl every time he walks into the gym, said Miss Randall, the science teacher. Are you kidding? He is the sexiest thing that has hit this school in the last 10 years, girl, answered Phyllis, the cafeteria attendant. Ever since he came to the school, every woman in the office and the cafeteria has started wearing makeup, including me. Child, if I wasn't married, I would be all over that man like white on rice. It wouldn't do you any good. You know, Sheila and Valerie have been after him for the longest time, and it hasn't done them any good. Will has made up his mind that he is going to be celibate, and nothing anybody has done seems to be able to change his mind. Well, all I'm saying is if I wasn't married, I would give those heifers a run for their money, and believe you me, a real woman would know how to get him to change his mind. So what are you saying? All of us unmarried women don't know how to make a man weak in the knees? All I'm saying is you don't send a girl to do a woman's job. Oh, And I suppose you will be able to do what all the girls in this school and this town hasn't been able to do. Ned had gotten so caught up in their conversation that she didn't hear Jill, Chaz, and her sister as they came up behind her, giving them the opportunity to grab her and scare her out of her wits. "Stop playing," she yelled, annoyed that she had given them the chance to do to her what she had on countless occasions done to them. "What are you doing? We've been calling you from all the way down the hall," asked her sister through fits of laughter. "Nothing. Come on, let's go," she said, sounding annoyed, and walked away with her friends. All of her friends had forgotten about the day they scared Net in the hallway outside of the principal's office, but it stayed on her mind because she found herself thinking about it the next time she and her sister were at the game. When Coach Banyan walked into the gym, she found herself looking at him in a way she never had before and was surprised to notice that he indeed was a good-looking white man. When she looked around at all the female teachers and most of the senior girls, she noticed they were all shamelessly flirting with him. Ever since then, Net found she was looking at and thinking about Coach Banyan in a most unhealthy way. The only white men she ever thought of as sexy were the ones she saw on television and in the movies, so they didn't count. But this one was real, and she saw him almost every day, and she couldn't tell her sister, her mother, or her friends about him because he was her teacher, and he was white, and he was real, and he took her breath away.